Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Brian Johnson. My ex-fiancée is suing me for $9 million. False accusations, guys. False accusations. Please subscribe down below. Really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
Hi, everyone. 2.5 years ago, on a normal Tuesday morning, I was going about my normal routine, and I received an email from a lawyer that attached a 13-page letter from my former fiance. This letter accused me of all sorts of, quote, perverse and abusive behavior. It was a shocking email to receive.
I think a lot of men, after they get accused, they are just dumbfounded by some of these accusations because they aren't true.
Never would I have expected this thing to arrive in my email box. At the time, there was a lot of accusations being made about a lot of people, and I knew that many people were losing their jobs and their careers over this time. And I was now right in the thick of it. I never imagined myself to be there. As I read through the letter, trying to make sense of reality, it was a state of paralysis I've never experienced before. I spent the day talking to friends, I spoke to my attorneys, and we were trying to figure out what to do. Universally, the advice I received from everyone was settle it, remain private. Don't take this into the public sphere because...
See, this is the problem. This is the problem. So women are just able to falsely accuse men, and men don't want to make it such a big public nuisance that they're willing to pay these women out. So these women are just getting paid out just to lie. Just to lie. It's crazy.
One's reputation can be eternally tarnished.
Correct.
And it's very hard to come back from. And
we see it now. Johnny Depp. Jonathan Majors. All these men cannot repair their reputation. You think if they were able to just pay it off like $1 million or $2 million to the person to never let this come up to the light of day, they wouldn't do it? Yeah, a lot of people would. And that's the problem that this like blackmail thing is. It is literally blackmail. Blackmail that is supported by the courts and the government.
It felt devastating to me. The accusations felt like an injustice. And I went to bed that night realizing that this was one of the most significant moments of my life. That even though this was commonplace in society, it was happening everywhere, and it would have been easy to settle, it just didn't feel right to me. And I went to bed that night wondering what I should do. And the next morning, I woke up and I felt a firm conviction that I needed to stand up for myself.
Shout out for this man.
Take this the course.
If you guys don't know who he is, he's the vampire guy that everybody seems to think he's kind of creepy. But he does transfuse a little bit of blood from his son. He's super health conscious. He's doing crazy things just to de-age himself. So I think this man is doing wonderful God's type work for having all these people research his body and just how his body takes to all of these things. So he's quite wealthy. He's worth quite a bit of money. He sold I think Venmo to whoever bought Venmo, PayPal, and he made a lot of money off of that. So he's super wealthy.
And now 2.5 years later, it has finally wrapped up. But it has been devastating. It has been costly. It has been stressful. It has been ruinous in so many ways. And I hope that my experience going through this and sharing it with you will somehow make society better. And so what I've done is I've written out what I'm going to say today because I've carefully thought about what I'm going to say. Not something I wanted to just riff on generally as I explain the details. So if you bear with me, I'll go through the entirety of what has happened over the past 2.5 years. My former fiance threatened to make scandalous public accusations about me unless I paid her $9 million in 1 week.
How is it not blackmail? It's fucking blackmail. How is the fucking... How do judges and like the government not see this as blackmail? You have to do this for me or I'm going to bring this to light. That is total blackmail. How can this not be seen as blackmail?
2 years later, a judge ordered her to pay me $500,000 for the fees I had spent defending my innocence. The dark, underground accusation economy. Okay, so how did this happen? It started on April 6th, 2021, that morning I was telling you about, with a 13-page letter from her attorneys. Quote, redacted is willing to settle all of her claims against Mr. Johnson and his companies for $9 million, ... This was surprising because after over a year of our relationship ending, for the first time ever, she was accusing me of a wide range of, quote, abusive and pervasive behaviors. Through her attorneys, she threatened to make her allegations public if I didn't pay her that $9 million in 1 week.
This is the shitty thing about being successful, guys. There's a double-edged sword. The more successful you are, the more you have to protect yourself, the more these types of things are looking for you. So many women, so many men, so many people are out there to take advantage of you in any way possible because you're successful. You made it. I know it's not easy to make it. I know it's some people want to like enjoy that success, but you still have to protect yourselves, guys. Always protect yourselves.
Receiving this, WTF. What claims, what wrongdoing? Is this April Fool's? Am I being punked? I am so confused. This is a person whom I'd once had the most beautiful relationship with, and now she was unrecognizable to me.
Isn't that how it always starts? We had the perfect relationship and and she was so nice and caring, and then it wasn't.
I double-clicked on the email and I started reading the letter, and the contents were shocking. I felt paralyzed. What was even more shocking was that my fiance and I had signed a separation agreement a year earlier when ending our relationship. We both agreed to walk our separate ways. It was clear that she and her attorneys were gambling that they would put enough pressure on me of my reputation being tarnished publicly that I would pay up.
Correct.
And settle privately.
Exactly.
She was emboldened by lawyers, blinded by their greed.
Emboldened by lawyers, these greedy, dirty ass motherfucking lawyers, man. As soon as they see an opportunity, guess what?
To take advantage of her vulnerabilities and exploit my wealth. After over 6 months of threatening to destroy me, with more serious allegations in her, quote, podcast, a book deal, and a potential TV series, the attorneys who sent the demand letter never filed a complaint or produced a single piece of evidence to support the allegations. Then she got new attorneys. Seeing that threats alone were insufficient, they filed a case in court and tried to make me look like a monster. I successfully moved part of the case into arbitration, where we had agreed to resolve any disputes. As their legal losses mounted, they became increasingly unhinged in what they were willing to say. Sadly, global media ate it up. On March 31st, 2023, after extensive motions, depositions, and discovery, the arbitrator dismissed all her causes of action that had been referred to arbitration and ordered that my accuser pay me $500,000 to reimburse attorney's fees I'd been forced to spend defending my innocence. The ruling and award were confirmed by an active Superior Court judge.
This gentleman was lucky. Another lucky one. But he spent $250,000 to defend himself. So how lucky was he, in a sense, you know? Well, I mean, he got his money back, but...
Judge on September 29th, 2023. After years of litigation, the corroborating evidence my accuser had of any of my accused wrongdoings, nothing. Not a single thing.
See, with no evidence, they were still able to go throw this far into the trial, into this case, with zero evidence. Zero. This is how powerful women's words are, guys. Protect yourselves.
In considering my accuser's attempt to invalidate the separation agreement she had signed, the arbitrator, a well-respected retired judge, pointed out that my accuser's, quote, undisputed conduct and testimony refute her claims. In other words, my accuser's own evidence contradicted her own story.
Wow.
This is noteworthy as my accuser's day job is chief storytelling officer at an implantable medical device company where trust is life and death. This entire thing has been bizarre and surreal. My accuser's attorney were sanctioned by the judge, a severe reprimand that courts reserve for truly egregious behavior, for making, as the judge wrote, quote, serious allegations factually and legally baseless and frivolous, unquote. Her lawyers were ordered to pay the court a fine of $2,500. In our settlement discussions, I insisted her attorneys pay some of what she owed for their complicitness. It would have been so easy to relent and quietly make this go away. That's what nearly everyone does.
Blackmail, guys. Everybody deals with it. You just sweep it under the rug and hopefully it goes away and doesn't ruin your reputation. And that's a bad way to go about it because it just leads to more people doing it the exact same way because they know that you've paid up before.
But I am not guilty, and they gave me no choice but to spend 2 years litigating to defend my innocence. Giving in and paying up would have been an injustice to me,
I agree,
an
good
injustice
sir.
to society, enabling this twisted practice. This legal fight was ugly and awful, honestly the worst. The most hurtful part of the whole ordeal was that she spoke about our relationship in ways that were unrecognizable to me. For example, when she was sadly diagnosed with a serious health condition, I rearranged my life and worked beside her nonstop to beat it. We flew around the country together, exploring clinical trials and meeting with doctors. Together, we conducted extensive research into additional therapies and tests. It was our shared, omnipresent focus.
This man spent a lot of money and resources to help her get better. And this is how she repays him. Ungrateful whores, man.
When tests showed that she was in the clear and it was time to celebrate her new lease on life, who was the one person in the world that she invited to be by her side at this sacred event? Me. She honored my unwavering devotion to her well-being. The case is now wrapped and behind us. This time with a promise that she won't sue me again. A provision the previous agreement didn't have and which allowed her and her attorneys to weaponize the legal system for over 2 years.
Wow.
Their strategy was to inflict maximum pain and suffering on me so that I would pay up privately. They miscalculated my tenaciousness and resolve, and their strategy backfired, inflicting collateral damage upon themselves. One of her attorneys is no longer with that firm, and my accuser's health sadly deteriorated within the blast radius of her own creation. My accuser has been astonishingly pernicious. Nonetheless, I choose again to support her as she works through her health and well-being. The settlement funds she owes me will be routed to a trust I established for her medical needs. She is the sole beneficiary and is the only person who can access the trust.
The man still loves her. He cares. He cares. The money, he doesn't even want that money back. He puts it for her and put it into a trust for her. This is how much men love. This really shows who are the true romantics, who are the true lovers in society. It's men. It's men like this. It's men like us that are willing to sacrifice and do things for women. And even when women fuck us over, we still try to take care of them. Sadness of life, guys. Sadness of life.
I won't keep a penny of what she pays as part of the judgment. I know many of you may be thinking that this situation is something that happens to other people and something that won't happen to you. The thing that's relevant here is that every minute of every day, each of us invests our efforts into building our reputations. We show up on time. We're respectful. We offer sympathy. We help out. We apologize when we're at fault. We tell the truth. Our reputation is our life currency.
I 100%
Then,
agree.
in one moment, a headline can cause everyone you love and care about to question everything they thought they knew about you. A lifetime of work.
One headline puts in question your whole fucking life. He is 100% correct. One fucking headline. The people that have known you for years, years upon years, question your character off of this one headline. Even though you have proven to these people how strong of a character you are, that one headline throws it all out the window.
Work is now in question. It's great entertainment when it's about someone else, something entirely different when it's about you. It has been no fun having my name dragged through the mud without the ability to comment. Quote, innocent until proven guilty, unquote, is a bedrock of our society. In recent years, it has been weaponized and exploited as guilty until proven innocent has been de facto by mob rule, ruining people's careers, lives, and reputations, taking away from those who legitimately need the legal system.
Agreed.
It has created a booming underground economy.
Like I said, there's women that do get accused or do get assaulted, do have happened, have had bad things happen to them. And it just makes us men now even less likely to believe those women. That's bad. That's ultra bad.
That has destabilized societal trust by straining our bonds. Our societal fabric is fragile, woven together by a shared trust. The accusation strategy she used is corrosive to that shared stability. I hope that more people stand up to this dark and twisted practice. For those of you interested in more context and detail on the events that transpired, I'll share a few things with you. Before I received the 13-page scorched earth letter in April of 2021, my accuser sent me a letter in September of 2020 where she praised my integrity. She spoke of our shared love and emphasized the reciprocal care that we'd shown for each other. I'll put on the screen here a court filing that has the quotes from her letter to me. Now, when that tactic didn't work, she and her attorneys sought to disparage me and create scandal. And this is what I mentioned before, as their legal losses mounted, they became increasingly unhinged in what they were willing to say. For example, they accused me of bribing the arbitrator. They were trying to embarrass me and pressure me into private settlement. You can see, as my court filing put it, when they tried this, the judge wasn't having their bribery fiction. She found the attorneys, quote, acted with reckless disregard for the truth and law in making the accusations, and, quote, violated their duties and respect and honesty, unquote. The judge severely reprimanded the attorneys for making, quote, frivolous, unquote, claims with,
They should have lost their goddamn license.
quote, no evidence, unquote, to support them, quote, undermining the dignity and integrity of the court's proceedings. The judge sanctioned the attorneys $2,500.
Shout outs to this judge for catching all this, reprimanding these mofos, and doing all this. Because there's very few judges that I think would side with the man, or at least see the truth. I don't even want to say side with the man, because it's not really siding with the man. It's just siding with the truth.
Then, of course, there were global headlines that ate up all of this and led many to believe that I am a monster. And to that, I say, press, why do you got to be like this? Okay, there you have it. I'm free. I feel relief. It's been 2.5 years of hell. It's been honestly like almost a full-time job responding to all the legal complications of this case. It was just a relentless situation.
And this man is a millionaire, multi-millionaire, like hundreds of thousands, hundreds of millions of millionaires, that he had to go through all this. Us normal men, I don't think we can fight this. We don't got that kind of money. We don't got that kind of reputation. We just got to take it. We might have to pay out. I wouldn't want to pay out ever, but it is just a sad world we live in nowadays, especially in the West, boys. Especially in the West. Get your passports. I always say it, just get your passports. Nothing's guaranteed in life, but you have a better chance of living a better life elsewhere.
So many times I wanted to give up and justify and say, you know what, I'm much better off spending my time doing this and that. Just pay the money and move on. And I continually thought that this is bigger than me. This really is about how we conduct ourselves in society, that we really do have this naked trust of each other in everything we do. And these kinds of things severely debilitate our ability to build the future we want. So I know when I was going through this process, when I was in shock and paralysis from these accusations and staring at the real possibility that I would lose it all, I wanted to find a public example of somebody who had stood up and said, you know what, no, I'm not doing it. And I couldn't find any. And I'm sure there have been, I just have been unaware. I hope that this case helps others who find themselves in a similar predicament, that when they're faced with this kind of situation, they too choose to not let the injustice pass. It behooves all of us that we build a society where we are innocent until proven guilty, and that the accusation economy does not have the power to derail our reputations and careers and lives. It's not good for any one of us.
Nope.
So with that,
Whew, that was some harsh chow. I know you guys. I just gave you guys one earlier. I gave you guys this one. I'm going to give you guys another one tonight. This is how important it is to me about this subject, that men need to protect themselves. Even rich men, even college students, doesn't matter who you are, you can get falsely accused and lose everything. Shout outs to Brian Johnson for fighting the good fight. I 100% agree with him. There's too many people, too many men that just pay these women out, which created this shadow economy of false accusations. We need to stop it. We need to do better. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.